Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of TXN Sports World. This is Michael Flecha, and here is the recap from day one of the FIFA World Cup that went down earlier today. We had two matches, both in Group A, and we started it out with the host nation. It was El Tri, Mexico, that started it all off in the world famous Estadio Azteca, otherwise known as the Mexico City World Cup Stadium. They went up against Bafana of South Africa. Mexico wins it 2-0. And it was early on with a goal by Julian Quantes. He gets the goal right in the doorstep, right into the box. A beautiful through ball. It was a mistake that was made by South Africa. Didn't clear the ball on a goal kick. Not really too great. It set it up. A nice little pass here and there as Eric Lara got it to Quanez, and Quanez buries it in the back of the net, sending Mexico, and for that, the Mexican faithful into absolute raptures. They lose their minds. It's a 1-0 lead for them. And it almost was 2-0 as Quanez gets another shot at it, but hits the crossbar right before halftime in the 42nd minute. And then we go into the second half, and right out of the gate, unfortunately, red. We saw the red card fly for the first time in the FIFA World Cup as Sehol representing South Africa with a goal opportunity, taking the player down. You can't do that. That's an automatic red. Referee had no choice but to flash it, and sure enough does. And with 10 men, Mexico makes them pay with Raul Jimenez getting the goal in the 67th minute. That gave Mexico the 2-0 lead. And they were well on their way to the victory. Two more red cards were shown in the matchup, 3 total, which is a World Cup record. Three red cards shown, all instant red. The second one by Zawe, representing South Africa. Nasty tackle, a little high, stud showing, and unfortunately the Mexican player goes flying head over heels. The red got shown immediately, and then Mexico, it was Cesar Montes. He got a red card because of the fact that it was goal scoring opportunity for South Africa. Gets pulled down right outside the box. This was letter of the law. There was no doubt about it. I know there was some commentary about it, thinking that was probably a harsh red card. Maybe you don't show that. But the thing is that apparently the referee representing Brazil has been very known to be very strict with his calls, strict with his rulings, and everything else. Unfortunately, the red was shown, and out he went. So that's an automatic suspension as well. So 2 players from South Africa will not be in match number 2. 1 player from Mexico will be sitting it out for that second game coming up in about 5 or 6 days' time. So we will see how that plays out. But yeah, Mexico absolutely dominated the level of play throughout the game. Had over 60% of the possessions. 16 shots for Mexico to 3 from South Africa. 4 were on target for Mexico, where 2 were on target for South Africa. Mexico was dominant on every facet of the game. Big play chances, 2-0. 3 corner kicks to 1. Basically, it was almost a domination of play by Mexico. 60% of the possession in the game was Mexico, and oddly enough, they were absolutely dominant. Even in the first half, they outshot South Africa 10-2 in the first half alone. 2 were on target, 1 on target for South Africa, and Mexico had 57% of the possession. That is how you get the job done. If you're Mexico, L3 holding the home court or holding the home field advantage, you can't get any better than that kind of performance. That was a masterclass by Mexico. And now they go up against South Korea. That's going to be an interesting matchup when they play each other in about a week's time. And as for South Korea, they went up against Czechia, and it was South Korea winning the game by the final score of 2-1. First half, an absolute wash. Neither team scored at all in the first half, and you can even say it really early on, it kind of was one of those type of games that, it was going to go either way, but it just was a little surprising. But South Korea was the more offensive minded in the game. It's just they couldn't find that golden goal. They had a couple of really good opportunities early on in the game, but they couldn't get it. They had over 55% of the possession in the game, and they outshot Czechia. It looks like 8-2. One was on target. Obviously, nothing on that. Corners were about even for the game, but again, Czechia just they had maybe 1 or 2 opportunities where you saw the level of play from South Korea was absolutely an absolute dominant performance. Then we get into the second half of the game, and that's where everything just went nuts. Started off with, oddly, a goal from Krejcek. He scores the goal. That gave Czechia a 1-0 lead. It was a shocker. It was a beautiful setup on a corner kick. He curls it in, gets right in. It looked like one of the Chechenians was offside, but they said no. They said everybody was good. The player that played it was on an onside position. Back of the net, goal. And that gave Czechia the 1-0 lead in the 59th minute. And then it was Im Brong Hong. He gets the equalizer in the 67th minute. A beautiful goal to set it up as well. And this was what we call Chip City. He got the goalie out of position. 2 guys were coming in. He dives for it. Just chips it, curls it right over the top. And the ball just made its way in. A Chechenian player I think he was going to try to slide tackle and try to kick it out. But the way that the ball was positioning and everything else, the pace of it was just enough to get by right into the back of the net, and in it went, and that was the 1-1 draw. And then Oh Sung-gun gets the game winner with about 10 minutes left. In the 80th minute, he scores the goal, and that sends South Korea into the 2-1 lead. And then with 6 minutes of added time, Czechia trying their best, trying. They just ran out of time, and it was South Korea getting the job done. They get 3 points for the win, and now they get to play Mexico in the next game. That game will determine who gets first place in Group A. Big game. Czechia will play South Africa. That will be next week. And that will be basically, if you lose that game, you're most likely eliminated from the FIFA World Cup. So, with the third place up for grabs, this is a very important game that you want to win. Especially if you're up at the top of the group. A win here almost guarantees you qualification into the knockout stages, into the round of 32. If you lose the game, it doesn't necessarily knock you out, but it does put you in a position where you can end up in no worse than second or third. Obviously, with 48 teams, there's more opportunity for a third place team to sneak in. You got to be very careful with that situation. So, right now, Mexico is on top of the group. Goal differential is in play on that. Mexico with 2 goals. So they are currently in the lead. Czech and South Korea is in second place right now. Goal differential of a +1, getting 2 goals, but they did concede 1 to Chechnya in today's game. So that sets us up for tomorrow's games. And we start in Group B. It will be Canada going up against Bosnia and Herzegovina. That game will be at 3 o'clock in the US, at 3 o'clock Eastern time from Toronto, Ontario. That will be a big matchup. Of course, Canada, one of the host nations for this event. And as a matter of fact, about a few years ago, Canada, you could even say, was maybe one of the top teams in the CONCACAF going into the World Cup. But there has been some question marks with Jesse Marsch and the play of Canada. How are they going to look against a team like Bosnia and Herzegovina? Bosnia and Herzegovina knocked out Italy. They put them out of the FIFA World Cup. They left them behind. And a lot of people were hoping to see Italy because there's a cultural and there's a history between Canada and Italia. And God, that would have been a what if that would have been one of the matches for the FIFA World Cup. I think everybody would be absolutely excited for that match. But unfortunately, Bosnia and Herzegovina had other ideas. They're in the World Cup, and now they get to face off against Canada. That will be played tomorrow in the afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then the night capper at 9 p.m. Eastern. It will be the United States going up against Paraguay, and that will be held at SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. But because of media rights because of that the stadium needs to be known differently because of FIFA rules, it will be known as the Los Angeles World Cup Stadium. So this is the big one. The United States begins their journey for possibly to do something in the FIFA World Cup. This is why all that preparation, all those opportunities. And the USA is definitely going in as maybe an underdog. Going into the group after everything fell into place, some people felt good about the USA. Excuse me. Felt good about their positioning in it. But then there was a couple of games, leading into the World Cup that was definitely left to be desired, and it caused some alarm bells to go off from the U.S. contingent. Well, the last couple of games, the one against Senegal where they won, and then had a really good matchup against Germany. Even though they lost that game, they looked like they definitely elevated their game a little bit. So, what are we going to get from the Stars and Stripes? What are we going to get from the USA? What are we going to see from them tomorrow? This is the moment that the US fans have been waiting for. After they announced that the US, Canada, and Mexico, the United bid, was going to get the FIFA World Cup, everybody was saying that this is the golden moment. This was, our chance to shine on that world stage. Now we get to see, has the preparation been perfect? Is it exactly what we were hoping for? That's going to be the $1 million question. Paraguay's a good team. Now, I know a lot of people's like, well, Paraguay, they've been struggling, especially in Carnival. They weren't really one of the top teams coming out of it. But, Paraguay has always been a stingy team. Now, some people feel like if this would have been maybe a stronger team, they would be more concerned about it. U.S. is actually the favorite going into tomorrow's match. The U.S. is a slight favorite. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I think this will be a very good matchup. We will wait and see how that plays out. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done for tonight. So, like I said, I will recap the 2 games tomorrow. And then we will set up for the next day with, I believe it's going to be like 4 games. So, it's about to go down. So, all right, folks, we are out of here. Thank you so much for watching this. Like the video, leave a comment, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. I'll see you mañana. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.